Hello, it's Fran Davidson from psychicandenergywork.com.au, and this is part 3 of my monthly observations for December 2025. This part 3, always looks at the MO in the month's numerological chart. There are 3 main numbers in numerology: the birth number, which is talked about in part 2 of this month's observations. The MO, bear with me, so the birth number talks about what we're about to bump into, learn about, break free from, potentially, as spiritual and energetic beings. The MO is the second main number, and the MO tells us how life might invite us, corner us, force us to do that, yeah? And then the last main number, which is part 4 of the video series for the observations this month, talks about the reality number. And the reality number is the ultimate outcome, the end results of us working through the birth number and MO vibrations. Anyway, this video again looks at the MOs for December 2025. Every December we see 37, which adds down through 10 to 1, as the generic MO. When it's combined with 2025, we also get 140, which reduces to 5. So we have a 1 and a 5. Yeah, we have a 37 going through 10 to get to the 1, and we get a 140 to get to the 5. So there are 2 zeros hovering in there. Whenever there's a 0 in a number, it's telling you don't be surprised if you sense a greater level of divine, spiritual, invisible, even mysterious stuff going on right now. 0 creates the space for us to see things. And therefore it can sort of force a wedge between everything we've sort of been trucking along with, almost to separate us from the busyness, to separate us from the company we've been traveling with, whether that be the company of our thoughts, the company of other people, the company of our schedule, being busy, staying busy, yeah. 0 asks for space, it seeks space, it demands space as a positive. Yeah, not necessarily because that's always how we respond. 0 can also mean loss, lack, silence that rattles us. Yeah, not enough cash flow, not enough information. And again, perhaps just aloneness. So 37.1 and 145 this month as the MOs are telling us that really adaptability is key. Adaptability doesn't have to mean ungrounded, pushed about by life, never quite making one's mind up. Adaptability really on a spiritual or a spiritually energetic stance. Yeah, adaptability is that state of being grounded, but also knowing that locking ourselves into any decision, into any conclusion, especially if it's limiting or negative, is only going to do us a disservice as manifesting and as attracting beings. In other words, these vibrations, and therefore this month, might show us all a few more things about know what you know, but allow life to show you even more in this next second. So do you hear how, therefore, this month could be a time that asks you again to know what you know? Yeah, don't deny it. Don't subtract from it, especially if you know it well enough, firmly enough. But at the same time, don't allow it to be wedged in, glued in a way that all of a sudden you start to project egoically, whether that's I know it all, whether that's don't show me any more because I know it all, or whether that's I'm going to look down on this or that or them or her or him in a way that is subordinating or judgmental or oppressing even. In other words, negative. The dynamics this month on an MO level are asking us to see with eyes of a tourist, to see with eyes of the adventurer. And at the end of the day, the spiritual being is always an adventurer. Why? Because it is just present. It is not projecting from the past, not because it denies past. It is not projecting into future in a way that says, universe, this is what it was yesterday, therefore this is what it will be tomorrow. So be aware that this month is a time that may well ask you to release the need to have an opinion, not because the thoughts that you've gathered are irrelevant or incorrect or invaluable, but because when we release our opinions, we make room for the universe to add to them, whether that's more of a view, whether that's stronger confirmation of their rightness or not, whether it is messages about how, yep, lovely view, but you know what, if you just added this or just moved it sideways, it may actually become even more for you to attract, manifest and co-create in the next second. This month, therefore, again, and I said this in part 2 for this month's observations, this month is very much a time that is helping us get ready for next year. Don't be surprised if your understanding of what you uniquely, you without apology, you with clarity, are going to be doing next year, not necessarily by December's end, but certainly as a position, as a stance right now that helps you activate and open up and welcome in the opportunities, indeed create them, in all the ways you know you can. So in a sense, as I'm talking, the feeling I get is that next year wants to be a time that really builds on this. It wants to be a time that says, you know what, you did all that homework last year. You got your base in place. Now let's launch. This year has been such a helter-skeltery sort of time for people. It's been a time like 5 years, and I covered this off in a video last month about 5, so tune into that if it helps you. 5 can be a time that makes us so busy we don't have time to meditate. We don't have time to process. And even if we want to, it keeps getting interrupted. Or we do it, and then the minute we finish, we're pulled back into chaos or distraction again. 5 is the washing machine. It is the spin cycle. It is mess. It is not stability. It is not constancy. It is not, I know yet. But through that, we get to separate from all the layers that really we don't need. We get to separate from the noise that's been distracting or unhelpful. And we also get to quality check ourselves in a way that, you know what, I can do it. Life will support me. I'm on my way. So wrap all these things up as you prepare for January, as you enjoy your December with any luck, and please God, that's the case for you. Please get in contact if ever you need reading, healing, energy work on any level, or even intuitive mentoring. Take good care. Thanks for tuning in. Travel well.